This is what we would like to believe we look like, creating these campaigns. We don't. Hi, I'm Ethan. I've been a Dungeon Master for around about 10 years. I'm going to tell you everything wrong with Dungeons and Dickheads.
Inside the Devil's Horn, a tavern bustles with life. Bright torches adorn cracked walls, casting heavy shadows on tankards and rushing servers. At a far table in a corner sit 6 adventurers.
The stereotypical, everyone knows each other and they're in a tavern. It's a staple for new people playing Dungeons and Dragons. It is the most simple way of bringing a group together. As most DMs will know, bringing your party together is one of the hardest parts, and keeping them together is even harder. Use of minis might not be to scale of what people typically use, but you use whatever you can.
So allow me to spin a tale of what happened last Tuesday. Having slain the were-rabbit of Riverdale, you find yourself in the Devil's Horn Tavern to find a mysterious stranger who is something funny.
Oh, come on, it's just sounds a little bit childish, really.
The laughing and joking while the DM's describing something is very typical. It won't be laughing at how pathetic the game is in this context, but it will probably be laughing at a name of an NPC or a town that sort of might sound like a sexual innuendo.
Eldred, a runner, elf, sharpshooter, and their feared orc barbarian, Orn Thrawn, Pring, the goblin thief, Vekan, master of herbology.
All the characters sound great. I'm a bit confused about the class. D&D, you play a species such as human, elf, dwarf, whatever else the edition offers, and then you play a class, fighter, barbarian, ranger. The Elfess second in command is a sharpshooter, which isn't a class. The first one wasn't actually mentioned. The last 3, the bullies, the master of herbology isn't a class. The thief is a class. It's a subclass of rogue. We get the point here. They're all getting a class that I believe is going to complement or not complement their character.
Which with the sword?
This sword is the last thing I have left of my father. My soul is bound to its blade.
That's great. The 3 veteran players immediately are in character, and the 3 new players are taking it a little bit slow, a little bit hesitant. Really love the immediate spiel to these new characters of his tragic backstory. That's one thing you'll get with most D&D characters. They'll come from a family that's all been murdered. They're the last survivor of a village. That kind of thing.
You can
Come on, give me the sword.
the sword, but first you must roll for it.
Okay, fine. Which one do I roll?
For a roll like that, you don't roll a d10 for I'm assuming a strength roll to pull the sword from the other characters. You'd roll a d20, which is a 20-sided dice.
You notice 4 other men surround your table. I would like you to roll initiative.
Those famous words, I think every DM, and sometimes the players really want to hear, which is roll for initiative. That's the moment where all of the players will roll to determine who goes first in the initiative order, which then turns to a turn-based combat system, which I think might be a little bit loose for this, but it's looking good.
And I fire an arrow at the far bandit.
Okay, roll.
14.
Roll damage.
8.
That is a very good representation of the core mechanic of rolled to hit with the d20 and then rolling a separate dice for your damage after it was determined whether she hit or not. I see other things typically just, they roll, they hit and they do 10 damage. No. A roll to hit and then your DM will say that hits, then you roll damage.
I watch as the whites of his eyes slowly fill with red.
The over-exaggeration and describe me is one of my personal favourite things, allowing the players to sort of take control of what they're really doing instead of going, I just hit, and then allowing the DM to describe. I like when players take that initiative and do that themselves.
Roll.
Nat 20.
Damage.
10.
And that 20 in combat is a critical hit. It's the highest number on the d20 you're to hit dice, as we said previously. That will typically double the damage. For a barbarian, probably going to use a battle axe, we'll assume that's a d12. He'll roll a d12, gets 10. Now, you can either double the damage, which would be 20, or you can roll another d12, which I like doing. It's more fun for the players, I think, personally.
The bandit leader, seeing his clansmen in your hands, goes for an attack with his great axe. This activates Orn's attack of opportunity.
That he shouldn't get an attack of opportunity here. Attack of opportunity is when an enemy leaves your area of attack. D&D is split up into grids when you're playing, usually measured in 5 feet in game, maybe an inch in real life. You move outside of that range, you get hit. Works against you and works for you, but an attack triggering an attack opportunity, not too common.
Cast a spell then.
Of course, we will need this.
What's this?
Every wizard has a spell book.
Wizards in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons actually have to carry around a spell grimoire. Having it in real life is quite a fun thing.
Venigram. Hero. Ethereum.
You utter the words, and nothing happens.
But that's the fire spell.
I like that a lot. Actually getting the player to read the verbal components of their spell. But it's not something that typically happens. Typically, a player will go, I would like to cast this spell in this area or targeting this person. This is something that I will probably add into my personal games, a homebrew system for players to read their spells out. Now, homebrew is that wonderful part where you take these core rules, you take the setting and the style and the sort of lore of D&D and you go, I don't like how this rule works. I'm going to remove that and replace it with my own.
Bandit comes rushing towards you, swiping at you with his knife. 12?
12 misses. I rip out the arrow and kick him back. I reload my bow and I shoot it right into its neck.
Falls to the floor in a puddle of blood.
Action economy. She gets attacked and then immediately takes what I would presume is a turn. You get an action, a bonus action, and a movement action. You can do all 3 of those in a turn, but she seems to kick, reload her crossbow, or bow, which you can do as a free action, but then fire, which is another action. Again, loosey-goosey on the rules here. From my point of view, that can't happen.
Summon fireball.
Dark elves. Backflip.
Double backflip.
Triple backflip.
Quadruple backflip.
Skeletons!
This is like how it sounds to what I expect would be outside people if they just hear you through a wall. The one-upping of each other, the backflip, triple backflip, that happens a lot. Players will try and compete with each other. A little bit healthy competition's nice.
With good standing with the king, I raise the economic tax of the whole area.
That's a hidden gem for me, I think. As a DM, you have to look up really weird things because players will do things like that. Ask you about the economic tax of a nation. One of my favorites is the aerodynamics of a cow. It gets weird.
I pin him down, applying pressure into his track tube. I rip my fist into his myocardium organ, ripping it out. I dig my nails into the back of his shoulder blades, splitting them apart, creating a blood eagle.
I am so happy that the Blood Eagle was mentioned. I love the vibe of the bullies sort of getting into it. You see the enjoyment on their face. That is one of my favorite things to see when you bring new players to the table. You're an hour in and they're still reserved. You get 2 hours in and they're role-playing as their character. They're blood-eagling people. That vibe of just, they're getting it. They're feeling their characters. One of my favorite things as a DM to experience is just the players' sheer enjoyment.
Axe strike!
Frostbite!
Fireball.
Tailwhip!
I'm about to send this guy home like E.T.
Snake's head comes rolling off. But not for long. Necromancers.
Okay, I can't do it!
Everything in there mentioned, bandits, the snake, necromancers, all are things you can find in D&D. You can find a lot of things in D&D that are from the core rules, but all of those are accurate to what you find in D&D, so good job there on the research.
Glass? What's happening? Scales.
Dear Kevin, you are loved.
There's a saying that goes around in my group that I play with. It's not D&D without technical difficulties, whether that be disconnecting from our online VC or the music not changing or the dramatic lighting not coming on. Something will go wrong. I thought that's a nice little touch. That might not be for everyone, but I like that it's represented here.
Towering in front of you, the mighty wizard.
The fact that the dragon's actually got a name, a lot of people don't know this in D&D. Dragons have names. It's also accurate to the lore, which I'm a big fan of, that it's sitting on a hoard. Some dragons, in their lore, it won't be gold as their hoard. It could be knowledge. It could be kingdoms. It's good to see that it's a red one. There are two thoughts of dragon. The typical ones you'll see are your chromatic and your metallic. Your chromatic are red, blue, black, white, and green. Your metallic are copper, bronze, gold, silver. Your metallic are kind of good-willed dragons, and your chromatic are your evil dragons. And each color of their scales, so red, blue, black, all relate to an element that they can breathe. So red breathes fire, blue breathes lightning, black breathes acid.
So please just keep your mouth shut for fucking once so we can do this fucking game. Thank you.
That doesn't happen at a lot of tables, but the tables it happens at, it's usually quite funny. Might not be in the same context. Typically, it will happen to the players that constantly interrupt the DM. I've had to do it myself to another player who constantly is talking over our DM while he's describing a scene. But yelling at another player across the table, whether it be in character for something their character has done that's stupid, or player to player, that's quite common and quite fun to see.
The dragon stands on its back claws and infects the cave with its wings, trapping the exit and trapping your party inside. I would like you to roll initiative.
I really like the DM. He's done a really good job, I think. Similar to a job that I would do personally, of embodying this dragon, from the voice to describing the mannerisms of how this large winged creature moves.
Spring rushes forward, forgetting that he is a goblin. He is incinerated on the spot by the dragon.
The DM didn't roll the dragon to attack, and the character didn't get a save. So with Dragon Breath, it attacks an area. If you're within that area, you have to roll a save, unless the minimum damage can outright kill your character. That's a bit strange, but again, I feel like this is more of a storytelling game.
I grow a sharp hedge to tie the dragon down, and I build a staircase out of tree stumps.
Orn shall ready his battle axe, and he shall rush up vacant stairs.
Two characters playing off each other, the Master of Herbology growing plants to trap the dragon and building a staircase out of logs for then the barbarian to rush up it and attack. That really shows some understanding of action economy and the game in a way. A lot of veteran players don't even do that. Targeting someone with a specific attack and then allowing your party member to hit them because it gives them a disadvantage or blinds or holds the dragon down. It's really cool to see combo attacks from players as a DM. I would be scared if I was this DM, because if they're comboing like that, they're going to kill the dragon pretty fast.
It's weak to fire.
That's a no-no. Red dragons, specifically, are not weak to fire. They, in fact, have an immunity to fire. The fire would have done no damage. It could walk through the fire and not be hurt at all. It's weak to fire? Definitely not.
So go on. Do it. Become the man I always knew you could be.
Truly showing the sort of beauty of D&D. In the beginning, isn't interested in it. Mere hours later, is prepared to do this kind of thing. That is what, again, it's what we think we look like some of the time. But that, to me, is what D&D is about. Is that a relationship you can form with someone to the point where, in character, you're leaning across the table and you're sort of shaking hands, or you're put your arms around them as like comrades. They just had an entire sort of monologue moment, or father-son moment, or master-student moment about worthiness, to sort of be added with him sitting on the side of the table of the nerds, to finally be worthy. After all that praise, rolled the wrong dice, but I love it either way. It doesn't matter. So though I have picked apart Dungeons and Dickheads, I would like to say it's not D&D. Everyone's going to have their own version of how they play D&D. There are going to be rules lawyers who are very stickler to the books, the core rules, and won't like anything different from that. And there's going to be people like myself who like a mixture of the core rules and a mixture of homebrew. The whole book you can choose to use. You could sit around a table and have no character sheets and use one set of dice and just tell a story. I've just been pointing out some of the sort of inaccuracies based on my experience of D&D to sort of really sum up Dungeons and Dickheads here. It's definitely a D&D game night. It really captures that essence of what D&D is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a group of people sat around a table, having fun, telling a story, and bonding. At the end of the night, or at the end of the week when you finish playing, or whenever, you should leave the room, the campaign, and feel fulfilled. You won't forget those moments of those stories. You'll always remember that time you, the High Wizard, beat that dragon or sacrificed themselves for the orphanage, really remembering those true moments and those sort of sparks between friendships. It's D&D really captures that and really captures the sort of sincerity of it. Props to everyone involved in making that. I highly respect that, and anyone who enjoys D&D, I'm 100% sure will enjoy what's here. I've been Ethan, this is my breakdown of Dungeons and Dickheads. If you haven't seen this film, the link's in the description. If you like the content and you want to watch more films like this, please check out the channel.